People are hyping for Faith now. He has won.
Yo! Yo! Hi! The God of faith. The God of faith is working overtime. There's nothing anybody would tell me. Because, ladies and gentlemen, last night, the spectacle in the arena. Hi! It was insane. It was insane. See, last night, I watched a perfect interpretation of no be by cho, show workings. In other words, the way you brag. Let us see the manifestation like that. Because, ladies and gentlemen, that was how Faith won the Head of House challenge again. Yep. 2 times in a row. And guess what? That wasn't even the juiciest part. The juiciest part was the reaction of certain housemates, i.e. Jason J. Jason J looks like he wanted to beat the whole world. It looked like he wanted to beat the whole world. It looked like he wanted to beat Faith. He wanted, in fact, the whole world and everybody in it. He wanted to beat everybody. Dude was not happy. Oh, I forgot. Imisi. Problem. Hey, Jesus. The smiles were wiped off their faces. Ladies and gentlemen, these 3 people in particular, they were not happy. I mean, it wasn't the entire house that was actually happy. Not all of them, at least whilst the challenge was going on. I think it was only just 4 people that were actually really cheering for Faith, whilst the others were just... they had their faces like, you know, those village gods. Imagine when an individual is struggling to make progress in life, and then their village people, all those their village gods, the ancient ones, they are keeping their faces like this. You must not succeed. You must not succeed. That was how most of these housemates kept their faces, like, you must not succeed. Lord have mercy. And if looks could kill, oh my goodness. See, yeah, the worst part of it all was how they gave more accolades to Koi, who did not win, than to Faith that actually won. I mean, see, yeah, the resentment was just very obvious, but Faith's victory was a sweet one. It was a sweet one. It was a sweet one for himself, of course, and for his fans on the outside. Because, guys, you know, as a viewer, you're out here, you're watching how things are playing out, and there's just so much comedy, and it's just funny. It's just funny. I mean, if looks could kill, oh my goodness, poor Faith would have dropped down in the arena last night. But God said otherwise, because the whole thing was just so ridiculously hilarious. But anyways, I mean, we know that later on today, there's going to be the Head of House challenger. So let's see if Faith will be able to defend his title. But whether there's a challenger or not, ladies and gentlemen, I think the juicy part is that Faith won the Head of House title twice in a row. Yes. And in the competition right there in the arena, this guy was fast. Like, he was fast as the speed of light. He was really, really fast. Yes. So massive congratulations to him. I'm super excited for him. Initially, I was kind of scared for him. I did not want him to win the Head of House title. You know, for me, I wanted him to win the Head of House challenge because I wanted to see the look on the faces of his fellow housemates when he retains the title again for another week. Yes, I just wanted that to happen. And from the look of things, it just might happen. I don't know. But yeah, however way it goes, he still won the Head of House title anyway. So once again, massive congratulations to Faith. Another win in the bag. It wasn't an easy one, but he did it, yes. So we'll wait to see today if he will be able to defend his title. Now, aside his win, there came the time for him to choose a guest to spend time with him in the head of house lounge. And I'm going to be frank with all of you, I was quite disappointed that he chose Joanna again. But I did not entirely blame him, because Joanna seems to be the only person that he has an easy rapport with in the house. Now, I so badly wanted him to pick Zita. I'm speaking of Joanna, guys, I did not like her countenance. Oh my goodness. She looked kind of reluctant to accept his invitation. And in a way, I was kind of relieved that she did not reject him in public, because that would have been very much humiliating. So my appreciation goes to her for not rejecting him outrightly in public. But you could tell from her body language, from her countenance, that she did not want to be in the head of house lounge with Faith. But then again, it's not really compulsory for the guests to sleep in the head of house lounge. I mean, you can choose to sleep on your own bed, or you can choose to be in the head of house lounge with the head of house. Yes, whichever one. But looking from their conversation last night, it seemed like she was kind of getting relaxed with chatting more with him, you know, although my fear is that she does not do the same thing that she did last week, you know, spiting him in public and being cool with him in private. Yes, but anyways, I would love to hear your thoughts about that. What you all think. What would you have preferred for Faith to have chosen as his head of house guest this time around? Now, just go ahead, share your thoughts with me in the comment section below. Now, just a quick introduction before we proceed to the rest of the conversations that happened last night. Hi, you're all specially welcome back to my channel. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and I am the girl with the tea. Yes, without further ado, we can proceed now. Now, moving on to other conversations that happened in the house last night. Ladies and gentlemen, what is this storyline between Kcha and Tracy? Because it's not only ridiculous, it's weird. Because I'm asking myself, from where to where? Now, in case you're wondering, Tracy is of the impression, or it is a claim, let me not say impression now because it's gone beyond impression. Tracy's claim is that Kcha was love bombing her in the first few weeks of the season, you know, telling her that he likes her, he wants to be with her, he wants to date her, blah, 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 despite the fact that she had told him that she has a relationship outside the house. She is claiming that after love bombing her in the first few weeks, now he's beginning to act strange towards her. Kcha, on the other hand, is claiming that, yes, he told her he liked her, but he had also mentioned to people in the house that he has a serious relationship on the outside and it is private. And guys, I remember during one of those games, Kcha had mentioned that he has I think a 4-year-old child outside with a girl, and I don't know if they are together, but he has a 4-year-old child outside. So his claim is that he already mentioned to people in the house that he has something outside that is very private. So he is not going to date Tracy. Like, he's not going to ask her out because, of course, she has a boyfriend and he does not want to be applying pressure on her because she has marked the boundaries already and he is abiding by those rules that she has set for him already. And he doesn't want to be chasing her around the house because he doesn't want to make her boyfriend on the outside feel somehow. Now, this is not the first time that Tracy is bringing up this conversation. I think she brought up this conversation sometime last week. And then this week again, we're having the same kind of conversation. No, not last week, 2 weeks ago. That was in week 5. She brought up this conversation as a new storyline for herself. And then last week, she continued with the conversation. So listening to both of them talk last night, guys, I was wondering like, hey, what kind of storyline is this one? Because guys, if you all recall, from the very first week, Tracy was a no-go area to anybody in the house. She already declared that she was in a relationship. She already declared that she was not interested in shipping in the house. So the way I read the whole thing was, okay, fine. She probably thought that it was going to be sustainable for her to remain Switzerland in the house. But then she started noticing that, okay, oh, people are getting into ships and it's looking more exciting for them. It's giving them more stronger personalities in the house. And maybe, just maybe, you know, it's buying them longevity in the house. So maybe all of a sudden he wants something like what Dede has, you know, where a guy is chasing her and she's saying that, oh, I told you I have a boyfriend outside, and the guy is not relenting, and the guy is still persistent, and the guy just keeps on and on and on, chasing her, and then she keeps on rejecting and rejecting. So maybe that is what she wants, but culture is not giving her that energy, because hey, the guy does not want to be accused of anything ungodly in that house. So the fact that she's not making it a big deal now, you know, accusing culture of love bombing, I'm asking myself, okay, fine, you already gave this guy a warning, you already marked your territory, you already, you know, constructed your boundaries, and he's abiding by your rules. So what exactly do you want now? Because guys, every time they sit down to have a conversation, I'm confused, because I'm wondering, okay, Tracy, what exactly do you want? So I listened to their conversation last night, and guys, oh God. See, the only thing I just told myself was, okay, fair enough. Let them have it. Let them have it. Everybody has a storyline in that house. Obviously, Tracy is desperate for her own type of relevance. She's desperate for her own type of back and forth type of conversation. Oh, I like you. I don't like you. You told me you like me. You don't like me. I feel like she's really desperate for that kind of storyline, and that is exactly what she is desperately trying to build, because this is not the first time they're having that conversation. They've had that conversation before and they concluded. They've had it before, they concluded. So what the hell were they trying to fish out again last night? Because every time they talk about it, she was like, oh, I'm trying to get clarity. The guy will give her clarity. He has told her several times, I'm not going to ask you to be my girlfriend, because aside the fact that you have someone outside, I also have someone outside, and I don't want to give people the impression that I am actually disturbing you. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts about this Tracy storyline? Because it's kind of weird to me that all of a sudden you are about to scatter our heads with your own type of back and forth type of conversation. Like, make it make sense. Anyways, moving on. Now, this next conversation was between Jason J and Sultana, and Jason J was still upset that Faith emerged again as head of house 2 times in a row. So he wasn't happy about it, but he was also praying and hoping and wishing that come the next day for the head of house challenger, however way Big Brother is going to select the people that will be challenging Faith, that he emerges as one of those people. For him, whether Big Brother is going to go via the ballot box or by picking the top 5 contenders during the head of house challenge itself, he just hopes that he's one of the persons that will challenge Faith for that title, because he so badly wants to get that title, that position from Faith. And you know, as much as he was venting and venting and venting, I like the fact that he admitted to himself and to Sultana that he has realized that he has a problem of paying attention and being focused in the arena. That he noticed that, you know, when Big Brother is giving out instructions, most of the time, he doesn't pay attention anymore. He doesn't listen anymore. There's either 1 or 2 persons that's talking to him or chatting with him, and he's actually engaging them or entertaining them. And so that makes him to miss out a lot on the instructions. Because guys, I think it was even during the head of house challenge yesterday, he made a lot of mistakes. And, you know, I think he was one of those persons that were instructed to start all over again. So he admitted to himself that he listened to the noise too much other than Big Brother's instructions. And so the next day, that's tomorrow, if he emerges as one of the people to challenge Faith for his title, then he will ensure that he is more focused. And ladies and gentlemen, I was just laughing because, to be quite honest with all of you, aside being focused, we know now that the head of house challenge, or even the challenger in itself, is heavily dependent on speed. Most of the time, Big Brother will talk about balance, focus, blah, 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 you know, so many other criteria. But at the end of the day, everything all boils down to speed. the person who is the fastest player, the person who finishes first, and all of that. So I cannot wait to see how it goes. I can't wait to see how the head of house challenger goes. Yes, I cannot wait to see if Jason J will return back to reclaim his title as the previous fastest player or competitor in the arena, or if Faith is going to retain his title, or if somebody else entirely is going to come and claim that position from Faith. But guys, what do you think about that? Let me know your thoughts. Would you want to see Jason J challenge Faith in the arena again over this head of house title? Which would you prefer? Let me know in the comment section below. And then finally, the conversation between Dede and Kola. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Kola was in Dede's bed and it was kind of getting touchy. And of course, Dede was entertaining it. And I am putting it this way because I've noticed that some of Dede's fans, they like twisting the narratives, especially when it comes to things like this between Dede and Kola. I've noticed that some of them complain that, oh, Kola is touching Dede, this and that, this and that. And I'm thinking, do you people understand the definition of consent? If Dede is allowing it and Kola keeps doing it and she's allowing it, why do you people think there's a problem there? The only way it should be a problem is if Kola touches her and she does not like it and she complains, but he pays deaf ears, or he does not pay attention to her complaints and then continues to do it. But so long as she accepts it, so long as she entertains it, so long as she gives her consent, there's no problem there. All right? So I just thought I should put that out there. Now, in their conversation, Kola really wanted to spend time with Dede in her bed, but Dede kept on insisting that he needed to go back to his bed. And he said no, that he really wants to spend time with her. He wants to, keep her company, get to know her better, blah, blah, blah. And she told him that the only way she's going to agree to his demands is if he steps up his game. In other words, she wants him to chase her more. She wants him to prove himself to her. The key word that she used there was step up. She wants him to step up his game. And he needs to be at it until she's satisfied that, okay, fine, the guy has done enough to warrant her attention, that only then will she reciprocate his energy. But for now, he needs to go back to his bed. Another thing she had said was, if he wants to be the only player left around her, then he needed to step up his game. He needed to do the most. He needed to impress her. And then Kola said, no, he's a man, that he doesn't want to be one of the players or, the only player, that he wants to be the only man that is around her, the only man, that has earned her. And she said, okay, fine. Then you have to prove yourself. You have to impress me. You have to do the most. And he said, okay. So that was where they left the conversation. But in the midst of all of that talk that they had, he kept on kissing her hand, rubbed her shoulder, had his hand beneath the sheets, probably rubbing her legs or stroking her thighs. I don't know whatever he was doing, but there was a lot of movements right there, and she was entertaining all of it. So ladies and gentlemen, it might seem as though we are going to be having a very interesting week. Because Dede now has given Kola an assignment. Impress me. Step up your game. I want to see you earn me. So the question now is, will Kola abide by her conditions? Because Kola had said to Big Brother during one of his diary sessions that Dede said to him that she enjoys being chased and she wants him to chase him harder. And he's one of those guys that does not necessarily enjoy chasing a girl, that he's going to try as much as possible to show his affections, but chasing is overrated for him, right? He also mentions that they are in a confined space and there's just so little he can do. There isn't a lot that he can use to impress her. So how does he even go about it? So ladies and gentlemen, I cannot wait to see how it goes. However, I actually also think that Kola sort of has an advantage, because I forgot to mention this part. Right after the head of house challenge, Big Brother had announced to the housemates that since they were able to persevere and go through the previous week's theme of the bare minimum, that this week they are all welcome to the soft life. And by the time the housemates went back into the house, guys, Big Brother had returned the house back to the way it used to be. He had returned all of their luxury items, all of those rare things that they used to enjoy, those privileges, everything, had given them enough pizza, giving them enough drinks, giving them enough food, so many things, enough cartons of noodles. Like, Big Brother had literally stocked up the whole house, gave them new sheets. Everything was looking brand new. The washing machine had been returned. In fact, everything had been returned back to status quo, and even more and even better than the way it used to be. So the whole house has been pretty much excited, you know. So thinking about Kola now, I feel like if he really wants to be intentional, there's really a lot in the house that he can work with this week to impress Dede. However, back to Dede now, I'm thinking, okay, fine. Let's say this guy meets up to your conditions. Let's say this guy does what you want. What next? Are you then going to reward him with a kiss? Are you then going to reward him with both of you cuddling together in bed? What exactly are you going to do? What exactly is the reward? What's the incentive for this condition that you've placed on this, you know, this new thing that both of you have? So I am looking forward to it, because, you know, in Big Brother's house, a lot can happen in 1 week. So I cannot wait to see how everything pans out. All right. So guys, just go ahead. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And then finally, for this video, Kcha and Isabella had a very intense, intimate moment in the early hours of Sunday morning. I did not do a video about it because what was I going to say? I mean, I wasn't going to come and put out a 2-minute video to tell you all that, oh, it looked like these two people had sex, or it looked like they pleasured each other. I mean, guys, it was just, there wasn't really much to come and analyze out of that situation. Yeah. But it had actually happened, and it might seem as though that moment between both of them has birthed some sort of coded relationship between them. And guys, quite frankly, I wasn't particularly surprised, because Kcha had said it several times on the show that he's more attracted to older women. Yeah, that his ex was in her 30s, I think. Yeah. So I wasn't particularly surprised that he was going for a single mom that has a 14-year-old. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Isabella, but, you know, the age gap between both of them, it completely suits the kind of women that Kcha says that he's attracted to, you know. But what happened between them that Sunday morning was more of two adults who are quite horny, and in exchange for pleasure, they had done what they call trade by barter, right? Isabella had alcoholic drinks to trade, and Kcha had his magic fingers to use in pleasuring her, you know, to use in pleasuring her. Let's just leave it like that. So yeah, that happened. And see, yeah, the weirdest part of that whole situation yesterday morning was the way Kcha's fans were excited, the way they were rejoicing. You know, hey God, these fans are quite weird. These fans are weird for real. These people were rejoicing so much, and it made me wonder, like, why exactly? But you see, at the same time, I wasn't particularly surprised, because we know that Kcha does not necessarily have enough bragging rights on the show. If we are being honest with ourselves, if we're going to call a spade a spade. I mean, we had the same conversation on Saturday last week during our YouTube live conversation. Kcha does not necessarily have enough highlights that his fans will use as bragging rights. So the moment he got into a sexual act with another housemate, for them, that was a major highlight, which was quite strange, because they started hyping him up, calling him the king, the king, the king. And I'm like, the king? I mean, we literally saw your faves, you know, like the side of his butt. We almost saw his manhood. So how is that a bragging right? You people are so weird. I swear. You people are very, very weird. Anyways, I want to stop talking here right now. All right. Before I even sign out, I want to add for Koi and Isabella's relationship, I want to see how things pan out between both of them. Are they going to remain consistent fuck buddies in the house? Or is Isabella still going to proceed with her plans to pursue Brett Morgan? Because at the moment, it seems like she has literally just killed that thought, yes, but I still want to see if she's going to make any attempt or not, or if she's going to stick with her newfound fuck buddy, yes, Koi. So ladies and gentlemen, let's see how it goes. All right, thank you all so much for watching. Just go ahead, share your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Enjoy the rest of your day, and bye.